ladies and gentlemen. This is Brian, your host on Bitcoin Summer. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into it. It's been a crazy week already, and we don't have a lot of time. We need to be hitting that buy button. This is today on the episode is going to be another Bitcoin 101 discussion and covering the topic of how I went from a value investor to stumbling across Bitcoin in 2018. This was recorded over a month ago, so the prices that you're going to be hearing and the market caps that you're going to be hearing are obviously changed by now. Even if it were a week ago, everything changes so quickly in this market. So I just wanted to let you know about that. But I'm really glad that it landed on this week because it is a big parallel. What we're going to be discussing is a huge parallel to what is going on this week in the markets. And as we saw on Monday, a big market scare, a massive sell-off in every single market that there is. And this was my frustration when COVID happened last March and we had a panic sell-off, and I was sitting in cash because there was rumors of a recession swirling already even before COVID hit. The yield curve started inverting in 2019, and I will have a blog post out on that, and that should be up shortly. So please check that out. So I was sitting in a lot of cash waiting for my value investing to take hold. And that is what a lot of value investors do. They would rather take the zero gains or the depreciating value of their cash over a short term in order to be able to purchase things on a discount. That happened for about a week or two. Some people consider it maybe even a month it happened. But for me, it wasn't deep enough and it wasn't long enough, and the dips in the S&P and I wanted to go on a shopping spree. I had a list and nothing really hit that list. And so I was sitting back and I was like, I'm sitting on this Bitcoin from 2018 still, and this is interesting. Let me take a deeper dive into it. And that's when I really fell down the rabbit hole. So I'm so glad that this episode is playing this week because I do cover how the COVID crash wasn't allowed to happen. And we're still in that swirl. We're still in that swirl of the federal government has outlawed stock market crashes, which are healthy for a natural, free, fair, and open market. But they aren't allowed to happen. So therefore, small players like me can't jump in and copy the tactics of huge players like Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett is sitting on a ton of cash still. He still thinks that's a better idea than to buying insanely overpriced stocks and real estate. He's sitting on a ton of cash with Berkshire. Let's discuss that today on our opening. I really liked this one today. Imagine thinking Biden and the Fed will let the market go down. That's psychedelic Bart. It's so true. People aren't paying attention. What happened in March, stock market was not allowed to go down. Deals were not allowed to happen. And small people were not allowed to gain wealth and to grow their wealth. They were left doing other scary and risky tactics. And it worked out for a couple people, but for the vast majority, that did not work out. And that's why I still remain a huge Bitcoin bull. It's all I'm really invested in. I believe in it so much that I decided to do a podcast on it. Just over a year later, started working on this, and I don't regret a thing. And it's just been an amazing time. We had a huge crash over the weekend. It's been a drop for a while. But as you can see here, shorts are getting liquidated. Boom, liquidation. Boom, liquidation. And we are just seeing a steady rise. And I think it's anticipation of this B-word conference today. People are expecting some good news to come from Elon. After all, he may not have been the reason, but he definitely was the trigger as to why this sell-off started. And people are looking to him, unfortunately. Bitcoin is much bigger than him. It's much bigger than me. It's much bigger than you. But unfortunately, people are sort of looking for him as a trigger to get back in and to put risk on and to be a part of the Bitcoin market again. We have Cathie Wood, who's a huge investor of Tesla, speaking today. We also have Jack Dorsey. Cathie Wood, also a huge investor in Square. And of course, like I said, Elon will be talking with them today. And the idea is, he said sustainable energy needed to be proven for miners over a 50% usage rate. And it was just proven a couple weeks ago that it was 56%. He didn't come out and say anything in the positive, so maybe he was waiting for today. It could be big news today. It's unfortunate that sometimes the market will hinge on the words of one person. But I just think, in the grand scheme of things, if he is the catalyst to people getting back in the market, it's a net positive for the system. It needs to be proven in a time like this to be a store of value, if we're going to be talking about store of value. Now, granted, people gloss over when these drops happen that it already had a run-up of 200 or 300%. They somehow leave that out of their argument. So a lot of their arguments are disingenuous when it comes to it's not a store of value. It can't be an inflation hedge. Whereas us Bitcoiners know that for sure. But we're getting to the point where a little bit more firepower is going to be needed in order to pull all of these institutions in sooner rather than later. And who cares if they come in, to be honest? But in the short term, it'll be healthy for the system to continue an upward trend, at least for the rest of this year. If we languish until the next halving, we could see a slowdown of adoption. And I think the quicker that Bitcoin gets adopted around the world, and it is growing exponentially, by the way, I think the quicker that happens, the quicker we can fix this system and we can all be healthier. And that's just my word on this. I'm just a guy, and I believe in Bitcoin so much that I do want the price to go up, because I do think that it's a net positive. It doesn't really matter to me in the short term, but in the long term, especially if you're looking out till the next halving in the next 3 years, like I said, I'm just a guy, and I'm keeping a close eye on this, because this is for our children's future, and this is for our children's children's future. And I think it would be much better to have mass adoption in 10 years than it would be in 30. Not saying that Elon Musk single-handedly can delay that for 30 years, but as we've seen over the last couple months, FUD can pile on top of FUD. But I was going to pull it up, but I think we're going to leave it there. I just wanted to mention there were already mainstream media news articles that are already saying, oh, it turns out Bitcoin isn't actually as bad as we originally thought for the environment. So that's kind of interesting that the positive news is coming out during this B-word week and this B-word day that we're celebrating today, and we'll see. We got a bunch of good speakers: Nick Carter, Lynn Alden, Adam Bach. These are the top of the top. So the SEC commissioner is even going to be there. So it's an exciting day. So let's wrap it up there. I wanted to jump into the episode, but before I do, I wanted to mention about the Node video that I dropped last week. It's a Node setup video and troubleshooting, kind of a 2-for-1. And I got such positive responses from it. I just wanted to thank everyone for your kind words. And there will be more. There's going to be more Node videos and channel opening videos and channel management and everything that has to do with the Lightning Network, because I'm so bullish on the Lightning Network. So please subscribe to our YouTube page, and please subscribe and like and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and do all of those things wherever you can, because that really, really helps us with the show. We're starting from zero. We're trying to make this a thing, and I'm going to do it anyway, but I'd rather have people to talk to. So shoot me an email. I want to create a dialogue with everybody. This is for everybody. We're all learning together. Come on board. Let's jump into our discussion of value investing to Bitcoin.